Hey everyone, my name is Danny Ho, and I'm a fellow student in Professor Crocker's BIO5 class. A little bit about me: I graduated in 2016 with my undergraduate degree in biological sciences, and I'm primarily taking this class just to learn more about contemporary health issues and to also increase my science GPA as I prepare to apply for PA School's upcoming cycle. Onwards to the presentation. So, the superfood I have chosen to present about is mushrooms. Growing up, I've gradually come to love the superfood, and I've done so because they're so versatile in use, whether they're used in soups, side dishes, and more. And hopefully, after this presentation, you'll come to appreciate them as well. Um, One of the questions we had to ask was to give an overview of where our superfood is grown, if it's domestic or where it's commonly sourced. So throughout the U.S., there are several farms that specifically produce mushrooms, which kind of compromise the entire nation's supply in general. But majority of mushroom farms are found in Pennsylvania and California. Um, in terms of production, it is quite both labor intensive and mechanized. It starts with a compost that was once made from horse manure, and then that now begins as a hay spread on concrete slabs. From there, afterwards, nitrogen is added while the compost is turned for several days until it is a steamy, smelly mass. This is then transported to mushroom houses spread on growing racks and pasteurized before the delicate, disease prone spawn are planted and topped with peat moss, limestone, and water. A few weeks afterwards, tightly clustered mushrooms start to appear, and in about 10 or 11 weeks, a crop is sown. Mushrooms are hand harvested over a period of several days, and it can range between, um, or it takes, picking doesn't take as long as you would think. People can wake up as early as like 3 or 4 a.m. at the start of a day, and then once they're finished, they get rushed to a modern processing center. Within arrival, about it takes about 30 minutes or so for the mushrooms to be cleaned, packaged, and on their way in a refrigerated truck to markets across the country. Mushroom growing is a 24/7 annual process, and I would say each farm gets about 4 to 6 crops annually. Little fun facts from a supervisor at Tojo Mushroom Farms, someone by the name of Alex Vergara. He he notes that the most important thing in knowing when a mushroom is ready to pick is according to its size. And then after that, we were asked to kind of give an overview about what our superfood's nutritional information is. Um, So, the mushrooms have been long celebrated as a superfood source of powerful nutrients and can always be a healthy addition to your plate. They provide many of the same nutritional benefits as vegetables, as well as attributes commonly found in meats, beans, and grains. Incredibly enough, they can fill some of the leading recommendations for a healthy diet according to the 2015 Dietary Guidelines for Americans. Um, if we were to jump into the specifics of how mushrooms provide nutritional values, they are low in calories, they are fat, cholesterol, and gluten free, and are very low in sodium. They also provide a plethora of benefits such as B vitamins, pantothenic acid, selenium, copper, potassium, and complex carbohydrates. What's amazing is that within the variety of mushrooms, each kind has its own nutrition profile. For example, the most common mushroom found in the US, which is the white button mushroom, provides 19 calories, 0 grams of fat, 3 grams of carbs and proteins, and 6 units of vitamin D in a 3-ounce serving. An example of a white button mushroom can be found right here. Hopefully, you guys can see that well. Okay. And there are also other healthy benefits from mushrooms, such as they also do aid in battling against cancer, improving immunity, and assisting with weight management. Going into details, mushrooms have been found to suppress growth of breast and prostate cancer cells in cell cultures and in animals, as founded by scientists at City of Hope. As for immunity, mushrooms are the leading source of the antioxidant nutrient selenium, which selenium protects body cells from damage that might lead to chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, which is high blood pressure, or hyperlipidemia, which is high blood cholesterol. Let's see. Lastly, they also provide benefits for weight management because they are so hearty and filling. They also promote daily energy by limiting fat intake because after eating a meal with mushrooms, it'll leave you full and satiated after the meal. Okay, so moving on to the recipe. The recipe I've chosen to cook for you guys is a healthy mushroom stroganoff. So this is a picture. Hopefully you guys can see it. And then this is the nutritional facts. Okay, and then here is my version of it. Don't blame me, I'm not much of a cook. I tried my best and hopefully I already tasted it beforehand and it tastes pretty good, but I think it looks kind of okay. Yeah, I kind of substituted some of the things in the recipe. They used whole brown mushrooms while I used the white button ones, and instead of spiral pasta, I used a macaroni that I can typically find in my household. Let's see. It's a very easy recipe to cook. Overall, prep time is about like maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then cooking overall maybe like another 15 or 20, just depending on how you would like to cook it. So not too long overall. So let's see. I tasted it beforehand, but I will taste it again for the camera. Let's see. Since it does incorporate a lot of Greek yogurt, I definitely get a hint of that in the flavor. And the mushrooms are very hearty itself as well. So I do enjoy the flavor. I don't really eat stroganoff of any kind in general, but after encountering and cooking this recipe, I would recommend it to people who want a healthier spin on stroganoff, because I know stroganoff is typically with beef and can be a bit more filling. With this one, it's obviously a lot more healthier and vegetarian. So for those who want like a healthier alternative, I would suggest this recipe. How does my recipe support energy balance? So energy balance can be defined as the number of calories that go in and out of your body through food intake and physical activity. If calorie intake exceeds caloric outtake, then individuals will gain weight, and then vice versa with the opposite. I think my recipe supports energy balance well just because it provides a lot of protein and carbohydrates, but then it limits how many calories, or not, doesn't necessarily limit, but it's a very low calorie recipe. In each serving of this recipe, it's about 374 calories, which isn't that bad. Going into the assignment, as for my reflection, I was ecstatic to present about mushrooms just because I've eaten them all my life, but I've never considered what kind of nutritional value they provided regarding my health. After much research from how they're grown all the way to served on their plates, I learned so much about mushrooms and have come to appreciate them even more. It amazes me the plethora of nutritional values it provides and how they contribute so much to our health. And as for how I'm feeling about my BIO5 experience, I feel awesome. Coming to this class, I didn't know what to expect, but approaching the end, I've learned more about contemporary health issues than I've ever had. The structure of this class has widened my perspective of the health issues that affect the quality and longevity of life, specifically stress management and fitness/nutrition. It's because those aspects pertain mostly to me. What I learned the most from BIO5 is the benefits of a healthy diet, as you can see from this recipe. As learned from the past couple of discussions that incorporated the Weight of Nations series as well, it has helped emphasize to me just how important nutrition is to our personal health and the struggle our nation has with obesity. As someone who strives to work in the medical fields, BIO5 has really inspired me to want to work harder towards my aspirations, and hopefully I can incorporate what I've learned from this class towards my patients in the future. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you have a good day.